Hello everyone, I'm CA Neeraj B. Welcome back to my YouTube channel at the rate Accounting Buddy NB. In today's comprehensive and practical lesson on one of the most important tools in accounting, the cash book, we will learn from the understanding how to account for post-dated checks received and issued to the checks discounting, checks dishonored, bank charges, and we will cover it all. Additionally, we will also explore special cases like bank overdraft, checks returned unpaid, and treatment of discounts allowed and received. Let's dive into the world of cash and bank transactions. Accurate recording starts here.
Let us understand the recording process of a post-dated check. Post-dated check means a check issued or received of a future date. These checks can be presented to the bank for payment on or after the specific date. For example, a check for $25,000 received on 1st of January 25, which is dated 1st of April 25, is said to be a post-dated check and can be deposited in the bank on or after 1st of April 25. Post-dated check may be discounted by a bank after charging discounting charges for the remaining period of the check. Considering the above example, the check dated 1st January 25 may be discounted by the bank after charging discounting charges, say 10% per annum. In this case, bank will charge $625 and balance $24,375 will be available to the business on 1st of January itself. Now, if the business can afford to wait till 1st April 25, business will get the full amount of $25,000. However, if the business needs immediate funds, business will only get $24,375 on 1st of January 25. Let us further understand the accounting and the posting of post-dated check. Post-dated check when received is accounted by passing the entry in the journal book. For example, a check of $25,000 received from Tully LLC on 1st of January 25, which is dated 1st of April 25, can be deposited in the bank on or after 1st April 25. The journal entry in such a case will be passed on 1st of January by debiting checks in hand account and crediting Tully account for $25,000. Let us now learn the posting of this entry into respective ledger accounts. First, check in hand account. An amount of $25,000 will be posted on the debit side of the check in hand account on 1st of January 25 by writing the words to Tully account. Now in Tully account, the entry will be posted on the credit side of Tully account for $25,000 on 1st of January 25 by writing the words by check in hand account. In continuation to previous slide, now on 1st April 25, when the check amounting to $25,000 received from Tully LLC is deposited in the bank on 1st of April 25, it will be recorded in the cash book as follows. The amount of $25,000 will be recorded on the left hand debit side of the cash book on 1st of April 25 by writing the words to check in hand account. Please note, when on 1st of April 25 a check is deposited in the bank, the corresponding entry will be posted in the ledger account of check in hand account and not in the Tully LLC account. Now let us see how the entry will be posted in the check in hand account. The entry of $25,000 will be posted on the credit side of the check in hand account on 1st of April by writing the words by bank account. As a result of this posting, the check in hand account will have nil balance as left hand side becomes equal to the right hand side. Let us understand the accounting treatment in case a post-dated check is discounted. In our example in previous slide, business received a check amounting to $25,000 on 1st of January 25 and the check was dated 1st of April 25. Now in case the business needs immediate funds and decides to discount the check, the bank may charge $625 as discounting charges and pay the balance amount of $24,375 to the business. Now the cash book will appear as displayed on your screen. The net amount of $24,375 received will be recorded on the left hand debit side of the cash book on 1st of January 25 by writing the words to Toli account. A journal entry is passed to record the amount of bank charges paid for discounting the check. On 1st of January, entry is passed by debiting discounting charges account and crediting Toli's account for $625. Now, if the business would have waited till 1st of April, the cash book will appear as displayed on your screens. Entry will be passed on 1st of April 25 for $25,000 by writing the words to check in hand account. Let us learn the accounting treatment when post-dated checks are issued by the business. Under certain situations, business issue post-dated checks. Post-dated checks issued are accounted in the bank column on the right-hand credit side of the cash book on the date it is issued and not on the date of the check. For example, the two checks dated 30th June 25 and 30th September 25 for $12,000 each are issued to Toli LLC on 1st of April 2025. These two checks will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand credit side or the payment side of the cash book on 1st of April 25. The cash book will look like as displayed on your screens. Both the post-dated checks for $12,000 each will be recorded on the right-hand credit side of the cash book on 1st of January 25, that is the date on which the checks were issued, by writing the words by Toli LLC account. Since these checks will be presented to the bank of the business on or after 30th June and 30th September, till then these checks will be shown in the bank reconciliation statement. Bank reconciliation is the process of matching the transactions between the bank statement and the bank book maintained by the business. We will discuss in detail about bank reconciliation process in our subsequent chapter. Sometimes check received by the business deposited in the bank may be returned unpaid by the drawee bank. Such a situation is called a check is dishonored or returned unpaid. Such a situation will reduce the bank balance. The uncollected amount is recorded in the bank column on the left hand credit side of the cash book by writing the name of the party in the particulars column from whom the check was originally received. Customer account is debited with the check amount. For example, a check received from Toli LLC for $19,000 deposited in the bank on 1st of March 25, returned unpaid on 3rd of March will trigger an entry wherein Toli LLC account will be debited and the bank account will be credited. Let us understand how the entries will be recorded in the cash book. On 1st of March 25, when $19,000 check was received and deposited in the bank, it was recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book by writing the words to Toli's account. Now when the check is returned unpaid on 3rd of March 25, the entry of $19,000 is recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book by writing the words by Toli's account. Let us understand the accounting treatment of check deposited in the bank which is returned unpaid or is dishonored. Let us understand the scenario basis an example of the cash book displayed on your screens. On 1st March 25, a check of amount $19,000 received from Toli is deposited in the bank and it is recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book. The corresponding entry is posted in the account of Toli as displayed on your screens. An amount of $19,000 will be posted on the right hand credit side of the Toli account on 1st of March 25 by writing the words by bank account. Now on 3rd of March 25, the check deposited is returned unpaid by the bank for any reason. The same will be recorded for $19,000
in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book by writing the words by Tolly account. The corresponding entry of $19,000 will be posted on 3rd of March 25 in Tolly's account by writing the words to bank account. As a result of this check returned entry, bank balance will be reduced. That is why it is credited, and the receivable account from Tolly will increase. That is why Tolly's account is debited. Let us learn the situation when the check is issued but it is not presented for payment. Sometimes a check is issued to the supplier of the business, is not paid when presented, and is returned unpaid to the supplier's bank. It is recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book with the name of the party to whom the check was earlier issued. For example, a check was issued to Guli LLC for $5,000 on 1st of March 25 and is not paid when presented for payment on 5th of March 25. In this case, bank account will be debited and Guli's account will be credited. Let us understand how the transaction will be recorded in the cash book displayed on your screens. On 1st of March 25, when the check of $5,000 was issued to Goli LLC, it was recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book by writing the words to Goli's LLC account. The corresponding entry was posted in the ledger account of Goli LLC. An entry of $5,000 was posted on 1st of March 25 on the debit side of Goli LLC's account by writing the words to bank account. Now when the check issued on 1st of March 25 is not paid when presented on 5th of March 25, an entry for $5,000 is passed on 5th of March 25 in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book by writing the words to Goli's account. The corresponding entry of $5,000 is posted on 5th of March on the credit side of Goli's account by writing the words by bank account. Sometimes the checks are directly deposited by the customer in the bank account of the business, or the payments are transferred online. The recording of the transaction in the cash book is not dependent on whether the check is directly deposited by the customer into the bank, or the business has deposited the check, or the payment is received online. In all these cases, the amount will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side or the receipt side of the cash book. Sometimes business had to pay service charges to the bank. When the business pays service charges to the bank, they are called bank charges. Bank charges reduces the bank balance, therefore they are recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side or the payment side of the cash book. In case cash discount is allowed or received, it is recorded by passing a journal entry, and the amount actually paid or received is recorded in the cash book. Let us understand how the discount allowed at the time of receiving the check is dealt with in case the check is dishonored. In business, often discount may be allowed when the payment is received by check. If the check is dishonored, discount allowed is written back by passing a journal entry. However, the amount of check dishonored is recorded in the bank column of the cash book. Now, in case the discount is received and the check issued is dishonored, discount received is written back by passing the journal entry. However, the amount of check dishonored is recorded in the cash book. Let us now understand when a check received is endorsed. When a check received by the business instead of depositing in the bank is given to another party by following the procedure of check endorsement, in such a case the check receipt and the endorsement of the check is recorded through journal entry. No entry is passed in the bank column on the left hand debit side or the receipt side of the cash book. Check endorsement refers to the act of signing at the back of the check for the purpose of transferring it to another entity, whether that be a person or a bank. It is the transfer of ownership of the check from one person to another. Prepare two-column cash book from the following transactions for the trading business of Mr. Kohli. The format of the double-column cash book is displayed on your screens. The left-hand debit side or the receipt side records all the receipts, while the right-hand credit side or the payment side records all the payments. Transaction T1 is on 1st of January 25, business had a cash in hand of $15,000 and cash at bank of $40,000. Opening cash balance of $15,000 and opening cash bank balance of $40,000 is shown in the cash column and bank column respectively on the left hand debit side of the cash book on 1st of January 25 by writing the words to balance brought down. Transaction T2 is on 2nd of January 25, business purchased goods worth $2,000 in cash. Since in this transaction cash payment is made, it will be recorded in the cash column on the right hand credit side of the cash book with $2,000 on 2nd of January 25 by writing the words by purchase account. Transaction T3 is on 4th of January 25, business did a cash sales of $7,000. Since in this transaction cash is received by the business, therefore it will be recorded in the cash column on the left hand debit side of the cash book with $7,000 on 4th of January 25 by writing the words to sales account. Transaction T4 is on 5th of January 25, business purchased stationery worth $500 by cash. Since the payment is made by cash, this transaction will be recorded in the cash column on the right hand credit side of the cash book with $500 on 5th of January 25 by writing the words by stationery account. Transaction T5 is on 6th of January 25, business deposited cash amounting to $6,000 in the bank. This entry will be recorded on both the sides of the cash book. Since the cash is paid, $6,000 will be recorded in the cash column on the right hand credit side of the cash book on 6th of January 25 by writing the words by bank account. Similarly, an amount of $6,000 will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book on the same day, that is 6th of January 25, by writing the words to cash account. Since it is a contra entry, it will be represented by writing the letter C in the journal folio column on both the sides of the cash book. Transaction T6 is on 8th of January 25, business purchased goods worth $20,000 from Tully LLC. Since goods are purchased on credit, this transaction will not be recorded in the cash book. Transaction T7 is on 10th of January 25, business made a payment of $15,000 to Tully LLC by check and received a discount of $500. Since it is a payment transaction, it will be recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book for $15,000 on 10th of March 25 by writing the words by Tully LLC account. Discount received amounting to $500 will be recorded by passing the journal entry. Transaction T8 is on 12th of January 25, Global Trading, a customer deposited cash of $5,000 in the bank account of the business. Since business has received the money, it will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book for $5,000 on 12th of January 25 by writing the words to global trading account. Transaction T9 is on 14th January 25, a customer transferred online payment in the bank account of the business for $15,000. Since business has received the money, it will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book for $15,000 on 14th of January 25 by writing the words to sales account. Transaction T10 is on 15th of January 25, business issued a check dated 3rd of March 25 to Molly LLC for $5,000. In this transaction, since the payment is made by the business by issuing a post-dated check, still it will be recorded in the bank column on the right-hand credit side of the cash book for $5,000 on 15th of January 25 by writing the words by Molly account. In continuation to the preparation of double column cash book as per previous slide, the next transaction T11 is on 16th of January 25, business withdraw $1,000 cash from bank for office use. Since this entry is affecting both the cash and the bank balance, it will be recorded on both the sides of the cash book. Cash is received therefore on 16th of January 25 by writing the words to bank account $1,000 will be recorded in the cash column on the left hand debit side of the cash book. On the same date, that is 16th of January 25, by writing the words by cash account $1,000 will be recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book. Since it is a contra entry, it will be represented by writing the letter C in the journal folio column on both the sides of the cash book. Transaction T12 is on 18th of January 25, business received a check from Poly LLC for $5,000 after allowing a discount of $300. Since business has received the amount, it will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book for $5,000 on 18th of January 25 by writing the words to Poly account. The discount allowed amounting to $300, a separate journal entry will be passed. Transaction T13 is business on 20th of January 25 received post dated check from Regal LLC dated 27th of January for $25,000. This transaction will not be recorded in the cash book. Transaction T14 is on 20th of January 25, an amount of $2,000 is withdrawn from bank for personal use. Since it is an outflow of bank balance, it will be recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book for $2,000 on 20th of January 25 by writing the words by bank account. Transaction T15 is goods for $25,000 are sold to Mr. Gooley. This is a credit sales transaction, therefore it will not be recorded in the cash book. Transaction T16 is on 27th of January 25, check received from Regal LLC for $25,000 on 20th of January 25 is now deposited in the bank. Since it is a receipt transaction, it will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side for $25,000 on 27th of January 25 by writing the words to check in hand account. Please note that on 27th of January 25, Regal LLC will not be credited as Regal LLC account was credited on 20th of January when the post dated check was actually received. Transaction T17 is a check of $20,000 received from Mr. Gooley is deposited in the bank. Since it is a receipt transaction, it will be recorded in the bank column on the left hand debit side of the cash book for $20,000 on 29th of January 25 by writing the words to Mr. Gooley account. Transaction T18 is on 29th of January 25, business purchased furniture for business for $2,200 and paid cash for it. Since it is a payment transaction, it will be recorded in the cash column on the right hand credit side of the cash book for $2,200 on 29th of January 25 by writing the words by furniture account. Transaction number 19 is on 30th of January 25, bank charged $100 for issuing a checkbook. Since this transaction will reduce the bank balance, it will be recorded in the bank column on the right hand credit side of the cash book for $100 on 30th of January 25 by writing the words by bank charges account. Transaction T20 is on 31st of January, business paid salary of $5,000 in cash and $20,000 by bank transfer. Since this is a payment transaction, it will be recorded on the right hand credit side of the cash book. $5,000 will be recorded in the cash column and $20,000 will be recorded in the bank column of the cash book on 31st of January 25 by writing the words by salary account. Transaction T21 is on 31st January 25, Business sold goods in cash for $7,500. Since it is a receipt transaction, it will be recorded in the cash column on the left-hand debit side of the cash book for $7,500 on 31st January 25 by writing the words to sales account. Let us now do balancing of the cash book. First, let us do the totaling of the left-hand debit side columns of cash and bank. The total of the cash column is $30,500 and the total of the bank column is $116,000. Now if we deduct all the cash column transactions on the right hand credit side of the cash book from the total of cash column on the left hand debit side, we are left with a balance of $17,000 in the cash column. Similarly, if we deduct all the bank column transactions on the right hand credit side of the cash book from the total of the bank column on the left hand side, we are left with a balance of $70,700 in the bank column. These balances of cash in hand of $17,000 and cash at bank of $70,700 will appear on the right hand credit side of the cash book as on 31st January 25 by writing the words by balance carried down. This will make the total of right hand credit side total of the cash column to $30,500 and cash column to $116,000. Thus the cash book is balanced. Now the closing balance of cash for $30,500 and the bank balance of $116,000 as on 31st January 25 will become opening balance as on 1st of February 25 by writing the words to balance brought down. Let us understand the term bank overdraft in detail. Bank overdraft means the facility given by the bank whereby the business is allowed to withdraw from the bank more than the amount business has deposited, but only up to the limit sanctioned by the bank. Amount withdrawn in excess of deposits in the bank is known as bank overdraft. For example, Tolly LLC has a overdraft facility of say $50,000 from the bank. It means Tolly LLC can withdraw up to $50,000 in excess of deposits made. Bank overdraft will always have a credit balance. It is a liability which is payable by the business to the bank. If a business has an overdraft in the beginning of the period, it is shown on the right hand credit side or the payment side of the cash book by writing the words by balance brought down. At the end of the period when the bank column is balanced and if the left hand debit side or the receipt side is short, it means the business has availed the overdraft. In such a case, the bank column is balanced by writing the word to balance brought down in the bank column on the right hand debit side or the receipt side of the cash book. My upcoming video on 14th June 2025 will be a comprehensive lesson on double column cash book and petty cash book. In this lesson, we will learn how to handle bank overdraft, balancing of cash book, and understand the definition, type, and importance of petty cash book, and much more. If you enjoy the content of my video and appreciate my teaching style, please subscribe, share, and like my YouTube channel @AccountingBuddyNB. Thank you and goodbye for now.